teacher, she takes time away from her Saturdays. So at 12, because we've been going to Saturday classes for the Vital, that's next week. It's a test that comes to everywhere. And we were studying reading and math. We were studying reading and math, and now I think I might do better than I could on the test.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I appreciate her.
Well, I really hear the gratitude that you have, and also your diligence, giving up your Saturday to go study so that you're going to be successful on the test. That's awesome.
We have a song
You have a song?
for the test.
Really? Do you want to share that? I saw you doing the dance.
What is the song?
Do you want to share the song?
Yes.
Go ahead.
It's if you want to do best on your test, then think hard and get your rest.
Now, how do you sing it? Who sings? Is that what Miss Ford sings?
Yes.
How does it go? Let him go a little bit so he can do it.
If you want to do the best on your test, then think hard and get your rest. If you want to do the best on your test, then think hard and get your rest. Something.
Rise up, stand up, step out, vital. Abraham in charge. Rise up, stand up, step out, vital. Abraham in charge. If you want to do the best on your test, study, think hard, and get your rest. If you want to do the best on your test, study, think hard, and get your rest.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And how about for you? Do you want to share how appreciation connected with you?
I realize I don't appreciate as much things as I should in life. That some things they really, people really take their time to do stuff for me, and I don't always show my appreciation. I might feel it, but they might not know.
Yeah.
So
Oh, beautiful discernment. Never too late. I hear humility and open to growing in that. Yeah.
Niceness. My turn. Here. Hold it for me. Appreciation. I'm going to take a page from what he just said, because I realized that there's so many blessings that come into our life with the people that I get to meet and introduce them to, and places we get to go, and extra things that we get to do. And I guess we're so used to it that we don't always appreciate every aspect of it until we get a chance to hear. And other people tell us, oh, well, you do so much and all of this. But we're so used to doing it that sometimes we really need other people to come in and say, for us to really show more gratitude about it. So that's excellent.
Well, and I hear your awareness, but also your gratitude for all the many blessings that you have. And I think for me, just hearing all three of you read it, I think that I feel gratitude often and appreciation. However, I'm so purposeful. Like, I've been here for 3 weeks, right? Been so purposeful doing the work that it wasn't until yesterday when Arlene took me for a drive around your beautiful island. Hello!
Yeah.
That I could appreciate the exquisite beauty of here. So there really is some wisdom in taking time to stop and smell the roses or to see the different islands around this beautiful island. So grateful for that reminder. Thank you.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, guys, so how can I be of service? You had some very poignant questions that if I don't know the answers to, I'll use my creativity.
That's fine. And you can start anywhere. We had some questions from this morning that you all...
Mommy, you laugh just like that.
You like... Anyway.
She laughs just like what?
You do that all the time.
That's hilarious. I'm just going to say, okay, thank you. I get it. Reflection. I get it.
Are you a little mini mirror? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mini mirror.
Mini mirror.
But the names, I didn't get to, let me do that.
Sure.
Good point. That's Bilal,
I belong.
Majestic, Dejani.
And you won't forget my name, nor my middle initial.
Hi, I'm Dara, M.
Hi, I'm Dara M2. But I was here first.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing.
Well, I don't know, maybe.
At least this lifetime, right?
Yeah. Okay, but just really wanted to thank you for even coming and spending the last hour of your time on the island.
Oh, what a gift
With
to
us.
close out with you guys. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, just wanted
So
it to be
grateful.
simple. I really wanted you to interact with these students, especially since we've been doing the virtues pick, but that's about all we've been doing in terms of the virtues. So I wanted them to be able to hear directly from you about really what the virtues is about, what you've been doing here on the island the whole 3 weeks. I mean, yes, you came a few years ago too. The 5 strategies, whatever you want to share with them on those things.
Okay, sure. Well, I really want to know what you guys want to know. Like, do you know how the project started and all that history stuff?
No.
Would that be helpful?
Yes.
So the project started about 25 years ago when 3 people, Dr. Dan Popoff, who is a child psychologist, he is a scholar of the world's sacred texts, and he also worked for NASA, and his wife, Linda Cavlin Popoff, she did suicide prevention in Harlem, also worked with kids who were addicted to drugs and alcohol. She was a community developer, worked for the spiritual care. She was a spiritual care director, so she was helping people who were dying. And she's also an author. And then her little brother, John Kaplan, he was a Disney Imagineer. So he created Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and then Little Mermaid attraction over. Yeah, have you seen the Little Mermaid attraction? That was his.
No.
He created it
I
from
want to.
scratch. So, and I'll tell you the Woo Woo God story when I was coming home from Tokyo after, but I'll stay purposeful for now, perhaps. Anyway, so about 25 years ago, the 3 of them were having Easter brunch at the Empress Hotel in Victoria, which is Western Canada. And they were talking about how tragic it is that kids are killing each other. Are kids still killing each other, kids? Yeah. And they thought, somebody ought to do something. And all 3 of them looked at each other and they said, why not us? So John quit his job with Disney, moved up to Canada, and they took a summer of discernment. And they did a lot of research, and they found through a Harvard study that the #1 reason that youth ages 14 to 24 gave for randomly committing acts of murder was boredom. That lack of meaning and purpose, right? Not the all right, Dara, I'm sick of you talking already, boredom. It's that lack of meaning and purpose. That's kind of happening now even more so, don't you think?
Yeah.
Especially with this child left behind business, where you've been reduced to a statistic and the joy, meaning, and purpose has been stripped away from school. And then also with the economy and, the poverty rate increasing and all that, it's just heightened. So understanding that it was a spiritual issue, the founders researched all of the cultures, oral traditions, and sacred texts of the world. And what they found that was common to all of humanity were the virtues. So they knew that we're all born with them in potential, and they wanted to do something to help the children. So they came up with 5 strategies. They self-published a family guide, and in less than 2 months, the family guide was in over 20 countries word of mouth. Teachers wanted to use the family guide, but in it, it's the God word and quotes from major world religions. And at least in the U.S., there's a separation of church and state, which I believe there's a lot of wisdom to that. Who should we to dictate who's God, whatever your beliefs are. So they created the Educator's Guide. And because it's really a grassroots movement, we're not positive, but we know that the project is in at least 106 countries. It's honored by the United Nations as a model global program for families of all cultures. It's endorsed by the Dalai Lama. It's in schools, families, businesses, faith-based organizations, community, and right here in the Virtues Island, in everywhere. And so it's a movement. And what's interesting is I found out about the project when I was Disney's Outstanding Elementary Teacher of the Year. And what was really freaky, and I know you will really appreciate this, I think you will as well, right before I found out about the project, I had set an intention. And my intention was to work with masters in education and spirituality to create a new educational paradigm, one where joy, meaning, purpose, and peace were at the heart, and to leverage the power of technology to do so. Didn't even know about the Virtues Project. Doing it, exactly what I'm doing. Then I wanted to be an integral part of the Virtues Project, but I didn't know that nobody worked for the Virtues Project. It was just the 3 founders. So I ended up volunteering my time as Director of Education for 8 years. And about 9 months ago, got an email. The founders are retiring. They're moving to the South Pacific. They've moved now. They're giving us $50,000, the board, to start a nonprofit. It was always a not profitable, but it was never a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So we've been working diligently. I'm now chairman of the board, and we have a nonprofit, and I get to travel all over the world sharing the project. And there's this huge burst of creativity, and my role is to preserve the integrity of the 5 strategies to help create that continued buzz and enthusiasm while empowering you all to use your creativities and passion to make it your own. So when I show the Virtues cards down here, I love the educators cards. When you look at them, all of them together, they're beautiful because they do reflect the beauty and diversity of all the world's cultures. But if you happen to pick one that had, you know, a Filipino little girl on it, you might be going, she doesn't look like me.
Right.
And so there's such rich beauty and diversity down here and very deep cultural roots that I am encouraging you, and have been for years, to create your own cards or use the cards to create however you want in terms of products that will bring this forward in your own community. Does that make sense?
Y'all can feel free to ask.
So
questions
jump
about
on
that.
in.
Yeah, go ahead.
So how many different sets of cards are there?
Okay, great question. So it started with the family cards, where there's cartoons and an animal and quotes from 7 major world religions. Then there came the educators cards, which are similar, but there's no religiosity. And so both sets have 52 cards. Then Linda was stricken with post-polio as she was traveling around the world. All of her symptoms of polio came back, and out of that came her work called A Pace of Grace, Virtues for a Sustainable Life. The card that you guys read this morning, the appreciation card, that deck came from A Pace of Grace, and there are 100 cards there. So that's another deck. Then different religions wanted the family cards with just their writings. So if you look on our
On the
Communities of Faith page, I think there's like 13, and they're not physical decks, they're just electronic. But if there are religious institutions that want to partner with us, for a very minimal fee, they could say, buy the rights, and then they could have them printed.
Gotcha.
Just for those religious ones, the other ones we print. In different countries, they have, so the Japanese have beautiful educator cards that don't look like our cards. They each have symbols. So I'm thinking about the
Sankofa?
what's
the
Adinkra symbols. Like I see those as beautiful cards because of the symbolism.
Right.
You know, and then nobody's gonna look at a picture and go, that doesn't look like me.
Right.
Right?